Welcome to the Turkish and Ottoman cooking program on NTR TV screens. In this program, we will cover the history of baklava. Baklava is the first thing that comes to mind when Turks think of desserts. This dessert, which is extremely delicious and nutritious and dates back to the Ottoman empires, has definitely taken its place on the tables in holidays, weddings, and special celebrations. History of baklava. Considering that the Middle East, the Eastern Mediterranean, and the Balkans were once in the Ottoman geography, it turns out that baklava is an Ottoman dessert. Nomadic Turks did not make full bread because they did not use ovens. They used to eat the phyllo that they make on portable sheet as bread. Even today, in many regions of Turkey, phyllo dough is baked on a sheet as home bread. The nomadic Turks, who knew yufka as a staple food, created layered pastries by putting various mortars between the yufka that were opened and cooked one by one. Using sweeteners such as cream and honey as a mortar, they made multiple layered pastry dough. Thus, baklava began to be made as a dessert. Azerbaijan is on the way of those who migrated from Central Asia to Anatolia. For this reason, it can be said that baklava emerged as a result of the nomadic Turks meeting with the settled Iranians in this region. The oldest Ottoman record about baklava is in the kitchen notebooks of Topkapi Palace from the Fatih period. According to the Ottoman kitchen notebooks, baklava was cooked in the palace in the month of Shaban, 1473. In the middle of the 17th century, Evliya Çelebi, famous traveler, writes that he ate baklava. It is written in the sources that baklava was served to all guests at the flamboyant circumcision's wedding held in 1720 for the four sons of Sultan Ahmed III. From records like this, it is understood that baklava, which is known in almost every region of the Ottoman Empire, was mostly consumed in the palace, mansions, banquets, and festivals. Baklava, which is dispensable for the holiday tables, is homemade and has become the most delicious symbol of the holiday and special days in the Turks. It can be prepared in many different ways. Baklava, which is prepared by baking thinly rolled phyllo dough after filling with walnuts and pistachios. It is dessert that appeals to both the eyes and the palate. So, how to make homemade baklava with thin yufka? Here is a delicious homemade baklava recipe that you can easily prepare. Homemade baklava with walnuts. 1 hour preparation, 1 hour 30 minutes cooking. Ingredients for homemade baklava with walnuts with tips. For the dough, 2 eggs, 1 glass of water milk, half a glass of oil, 1 teaspoon of grape vinegar, less than a half tablespoon of salt. Flour will be added so that its consistency is soft. For internal mortar, 3 cups coarsely ground walnuts. To open baklava, 2.5 cups of wheat starch for the above, half a kilo of melted and foamed butter for the sherbet, 1 kg of sugar, 4.5 glasses of water, a few drops of lemon juice. A baklava recipe that gets full marks every time by those who have eaten it so far. We recommended you try it. Let's move on to the schedule. First of all, the dough is prepared. Eggs, salt, milk, vinegar, oil, and flour are needed as much as it takes. Secondly, the flour needs to be soft. We did not specify the amount as such. Flour is different. After kneading, the dough is rested for half an hour. That is, it is kept because the dough opens better as it waits. The rested dough is divided into 4 equal pieces. 10 pieces in each piece, and a total of 40 pieces are obtained. It is divided into 10 by 10. The first 10 small doughs are rolled out to the size of a plate with a starch. 10 small doughs, which are opened by putting starch in between, are placed on top of each other and rolled out to the size of a round tray with the help of a roller. The tray is oiled and the rolled dough is shaken by handling. After shaking, you will see that the filo sheets are separated. 10 filo sheets are laid one by one on the tray. 10 after laying the dough, it is sprinkled with ground walnuts. The same procedure is applied to the remaining 30 small margins, 10 at a time. After 10 coats, walnuts are sprinkled in between, so it should be walnut in 3 layers. The oven is also taken to 180 degrees and left to heat. Before putting it in the oven, half a kilo of butter is melted over low heat. After it melts, the foam that rises on it taken off. While the butter melted, the baklava is cut into slices. It can be cut into squares. It turns out so delicious that it doesn't matter what the shape is. Melted butter is poured all over the sliced baklava so that there is no dry place. It is taken into preheated 180-degree oven and baked for about 1.5 hours. For sherbet, sugar and water are left to boil. After boiling, 4 to 5 drops of lemon juice are added to close the bottom and left to cool. Baklava is expected to warm up. Sherbet and dessert should be warm. One night, the serum is expected absorbed. You can decorate it with pistachios and hazelnuts. Let's explain the tricks. We should definitely use butter for flavor. Baking the dessert for 1.5 hours until it dries is necessary for its crispness. In addition, vinegar in the dough is also important for crispness. Both sherbet and baklava must warm so that the baklava is not doughy and retains its flavor. It must be kept overnight to absorb the serum. It is such a beautiful baklava that you will not be able to live without eating a few slices. Everyone will love your baklava. Enjoy your meal. Stay on NTR TV to meet in new tastes. Goodbye for now.